Hello, everybody. This is day 22 of 100 of Grow Your Business with AI. This is my first time streaming, and so I might be a little newish, but we're streaming live to Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and to X. And the purpose of this is to tell you how I'm using AI and automations in order to automate my business, the Alternative Investing Club. So the Alternative Investing Club was started originally as a employee club that Intel ran, and we've invited speakers on commercial real estate and alternative investing every single Friday, well, 49 Fridays on average per year for the last 5 years, and we've grown the club to over 1,300 people. And I decided that it's time that I take a little bit of a um, during the holidays when things are a little slower, take a little bit of time to automate some of my business processes because I have a ton of business processes that are just tedious. Upload my YouTube video, create the chapter headings, go through and post on social media, go through and, there's just a lot of tasks that I do that are very manual and need to be automated. And frankly, these sorts of tasks, as your business grows, are going to be more and more difficult to automate on a larger scale. So, medium to large size businesses need to take different tactics than smaller businesses. And we'll actually talk about those too. But on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, I like to be very tactical. So, I'm going to show you a, and then on Mondays, we like to talk about bigger picture strategy. Fridays, we usually have a tool tip for some AI tool in your business. But in the middle weeks, I like to implement something that will automate a piece of my workflow. So that's what I'm doing here. So if I could share my screen here, there we go. This is an automation that makes use of an SQL database, which is my company's knowledge base. I'll talk more about that in a moment. YouTube and OpenAI. And this particular workflow, what it does is every 6 hours, it will check my YouTube feed, which you can find if you just look for alternativeinvestingclub.com or go to YouTube and look for Alternative Investing Club. You'll find all the videos that we've put up there. And there's quite a few of them. There's around 260 videos of previous meetings with investors who have talked about passive income, funds, real estate, how to organize your estate planning, how to work with life insurance, all sorts of financial topics. And we recently were able to put them all onto YouTube, and so a whole bunch of them just went up there. And the YouTube channel right now is really fairly small. We need to do some maintenance and some cleaning in order to really start to scale the numbers. And one of the things that we need to do is to create chapter indexes for each of the videos that's in the channel. So that's what this automation is going to do, and I'm going to walk you through how I went together building it, how I built an AI assistant model using a custom GPT prompt that allows me to identify the most relevant portions of a particular video and to create chapters for each of those, so that when a person is watching on YouTube, they can just skip around within the video to find the portion of the video that they want to see. So first of all, let me say that your company's knowledge base, when you're implementing AI strategically within your business, you need to have a centralized point if you're a small to medium sized company, or maybe a distributed hub and spoke model if you're a medium to larger size business of information. And that information might be centered around a particular marketing channel, might be centered around a particular product group, might be centered around a particular subsection or business division that you have. In my particular case here, the database that I've set up is specifically for all of my social media. And each time we get a speaker into our club, we're going to start creating a variety of different types of social media assets. One of them is simply the YouTube video, but another smaller asset might be the chapters within the YouTube video. We also might want to create several social media posts on LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and other platforms announcing that the video has been put out there. And so that is taken care of in our company's knowledge base. The knowledge base isn't just necessarily for tracking social media too. It might also be for tracking all the documents that your company has. If you have a customer support center and you want to use AI in order to create a customer support chatbot, for instance, that chatbot is going to need to have access to specific information that your company has. And so the knowledge base is simply the accumulation of everything that makes your company and your brand you or itself. And it's going to represent not only generalized knowledge that needs to be communicated about your business, but potentially even partitioned into customer specific knowledge. So that if a customer asks something specific about their relationship with you or their account with you, it can be stored within the knowledge base as well. I actually wrote an article on this yesterday, but here is how I'm using it practically within an automation. So my particular customer base is stored within uh, Supabase, which is a MySQL database. Now, there are different types of databases or different types of representations that you can have for a knowledge base. A lot of times, you can store PDF documents and other types of contracts or business-related documents inside what's called a vector store. And I'll talk more about that on a later video. But here, for practical purposes, we have a database, and this could actually be something that's fairly accessible too. This could be Google Sheets or an Excel spreadsheet, just something that keeps track of rows with columns and structured data. So every 6 hours, that's what this node does. This particular workflow is going to fire. It is going to go through and fetch the first right here, the first of the speakers that actually has a YouTube URL in my knowledge base, but does not yet have a transcript associated with it. So you can see down here, we're using the SQL account. We're getting many rows. I'm limiting it to just one because I just want to perform this operation on one video at a time. We're going to pass in the YouTube URL, or rather, we're going to query for all rows where the YouTube URL is not null, meaning there's actually a YouTube URL there. And the transcript is null, which means we have no transcript yet. So once we get that, we can show that here. In this particular case, it pulled up a video that I did a year or two ago with Whitney Sewell, one of the two founders of LifeBridge Capital. They are a real estate syndication firm. I actually have an investment with them, and it's done quite well. So I highly recommend them. But this particular video was put together for the Alternative Investing Club a couple of years ago. And in this video, Whitney is talking about passive investor preparation. What do you need to know before you passively invest in a real estate syndication? So the next node here is going to take that information and it's going to find the YouTube video ID. Now, this YouTube video ID is this right here. And this will uniquely identify your YouTube video on your YouTube channel. Once it has that, we're going to list all the different captions for the video. Now, videos might have different sets of captions. You might have captions in English, Spanish, Hindi, Chinese, Japanese, whatever languages you happen to have for your video. We're going to focus in on English language here, and we'll put English language into the description. So I grab all of the captions, I find out what their languages are here, and then I filter by English, EN. Once that happens, I call the YouTube APIs in order to download the captions from that particular video. When you do that, first of all, one thing that you have to know is you have to set up your YouTube credentials by going over to console.developer.google.com and setting up an application and grabbing your client ID and your client secret. People that do a lot of automations spend a lot of times setting up those two different pieces of information on different services. So if you want to interact with YouTube or Google Sheets or LinkedIn or Twitter, X, no matter what service you interact with, those are how your program is going to authenticate itself to that service. Just like your username and password authenticates you to a service, client ID and client secret are going to authenticate a program. Next, the captions are actually downloaded in a binary format. So we do a binary to JSON conversion, and then you can see over here we have our captions. They're not very pretty, these slash ends. If you were to put them into a text processor, would show up as new lines. So each time you see a slash n, that would be another basically hitting return on your screen on your keyboard. So once we get that binary data, we're going to edit out a couple of the fields that we need here specifically in order to run the AI process. And that is we simply need the title, the speaker, the URL, and the transcript. And I'm going to send that over to OpenAI here. And you can see that I've crafted an OpenAI prompt, and I can show that to you in more depth here. Here's a custom GPT that uses this prompt. And the nice thing about this prompt, let me actually demo it to you. I'm going to go over to my app that I often use for extracting information. And let's see, let's put in let's take my interview with Equity Multiple here, which we just did a day or two ago. And this video description writer, what it does is, first of all, we have a clear role defined in our prompt, a goal, and the standard operating procedure for how this particular um, custom GPT is going to work. I'm going to take the transcript, I will throw it into the GPT here. Oftentimes, when you have a large transcript, you don't always want to use the large transcript with every operation with your AI. The reason for that is, let's go down. Here it is. It's writing out my chapter headings. The reason for that is that the cost that you're going to pay to OpenAI or any AI service is going to be dependent on the size of the text that you put in. So oftentimes it's worthwhile to take that transcript and maybe summarize it, find the major points, and then use that moving forward for some of your other operations. In this particular case, though, we have, oh, it misspelled the speaker's name. His name is Brereton. But Daniel from Equity Multiple is going to discuss the platform's approach to accessible commercial real estate investing, emphasizing diversification, asset management, and the opportunities in the capital stack for investors seeking returns. And then it goes here and creates the chapter index. It finds the most important points within the transcript and identifies the timestamps that they're associated with here and generates the format that YouTube will want in order to create chapters within your video. So, for example, here we have the welcome, we have the introduction, we have the purpose of the interview and the target audience. We talk a little bit about Daniel's military service, his initial impressions of Equity Multiple. You can see it's actually quite long. It does a great job of pulling out all the different points. We talk about car washes, um, building relationships, and managing deal flow. Lots of different topics that you might want to jump to in here. So I'm going to use this same prompt and call that same prompt is right here. And then the transcript is right here. All I'm doing is bringing this transcript over and dropping it in. And that is going to take place here within my automation. Lastly, I'm going to write back to my knowledge base. I'm going to write back the transcript that I've pulled out of YouTube, and I'm going to write back my description. And those are going to come up here to my database. The transcript will go here. The description is further over. If I move to the database over here, it's going to go into this field here. And so I'll automatically, for every YouTube video that I publish on my channel, it will automatically take the transcript that YouTube generates, uh, put it into my company's knowledge base, and then use that in order to create additional assets. Now, chapter indexes are just a small example of what you might create. You might create a blog post or an article based on this information. You might want to use it to announce on X that you have posted a new video and what it's about. You might want to post within your Facebook community, information about your video and how that helps the people within that community. So let's go back to the automation here. I will run through it. And first of all, I want you to see down here. Let's see, edit video. Here's the video. I'm going to erase what was previously here just to show you that it works. And you know what? I stepped through this step by step by step, but I didn't actually launch it all the way through. So let's make sure this is working. I'm going to debug it along the way as we go. So here I have pulled out information. It's Whitney Sewell. Great. Now I'm going to go all the way down to, oh, let's go to here where I have pulled out the captions or the subtitles, and I've converted them to a human readable format. All right. So I've got that here. Great. Here they are in the human readable format. And we will come over to OpenAI here. I'm going to execute the previous nodes, and you'll see that we have the transcript that is right here. And I'll launch test step here. Now, what I'm doing is I'm going through and debugging this workflow little by little. In actuality, I'm just going to set this to activate every 6 hours. And it's just going to automatically pull from my YouTube feed whatever the current video is, and perform these operations for me automatically. So it's taking a little bit of time here in order to talk to OpenAI. Okay, great. I've got my description. The Alternative Investing Club presents Whitney Sue. Now that's interesting. So it misspelled Whitney Sewell's name. So when I push it up here to my knowledge base, the knowledge base is the point at which I'm going to have the ability to find that video and then to have my human touch point where I'm editing this video. So let me take, here's the ID within the database. I'm going to come up here, create another filter rule really quickly where my ID is equal to this number. And here is Whitney Sewell. Oop. My filter. Oh, it's not showing up because the transcript is no longer null. Let's put that in there like this. There we go. There it is. Okay, you can see the transcript is over here. If I load the full value out, we can even open it. Here's the full transcript within my database. And we're going to come over here, and the description has been created. Load the full value here, make it bigger. See, it's kind of it's in HTML. But at this point, I could edit the text and make any changes that I need to make. And then when I go back to the automation here and let it finish up, I'm going to post this up to YouTube, executing the node. Excellent. Oop, looks like my JSON content here may not have updated correctly. Let's bring this transcript over. No, I don't want to bring the transcript over. I want to bring chapter headings over. Let's try that again. Test step. Wonder what it's going to do when I update something that's already got information within it. All right, now if I come over here, reload, there we go. My video has a wonderfully created chapter index automatically, along with the name that I should have corrected here, Whitney Sewell. And I will just save that. And then when people go to the video, I'll pause it here so we don't play the sound. When people go to the video, they'll come down here, and I've automatically got a thorough chapter index without me having to do anything. In the future, I will simply set this to happen every 6 hours. So if I upload a video within that time, within a 6-hour window, you'll get a small description, a link back to my website, and a chapter index. This is Daniel Homlin with Grow Your Business with AI. I also am the founder of the Alternative Investing Club. We're an investment club that helps individuals who want to invest in private equity, commercial real estate, and other types of private equity investments. And then Grow Your Business with AI is a consulting service where I do training for medium to large businesses on how to strategically roll out AI processes, not only the hands-on, like you saw here, but also from a governance level. How do you build an AI-driven governance board, an AI-driven leadership team? How do you implement these things strategically within your business? Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. This was day 22 out of 100.